This is Musical Talk, your podcast for musical theater. Here are your hosts, Nick Hudson and Andrew Edwards.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Musical Talk, our fourth episode now.
Your weekly podcast devoted to musical theatre.
Musical theatre, yes.
So how's your week been?
My week's been alright. Had an awful day yesterday.
Oh dear, you did your double performance of the producers.
Yes, on a Wednesday.
Your Wednesday hell.
Oh, and I fell over twice in my tumble and I pulled my groin. So.
Ow!
But it's alright, I'm much better now. I'm feeling better this morning.
Good thing your girlfriend is a while away.
No, just the muscle next, me leg.
Right, anyway, so welcome to Musical Talk, our fourth episode. Fourth already, been doing it for a month now.
A month now.
That's a long time.
Not really, it's just 4 weeks.
In politics.
In politics, yes.
And so we're going to do some news. We have a brand new news.
Oh, I'm so excited by this.
So here are your Musical Talk headlines. Connie Fisher is doing 8 shows a week at The Sound of Music.
Ashley Simpson has her opening night in Chicago.
Wow. Usher is also coming over to the West End to do Chicago.
Wicked has its opening night this evening.
And Seven Brides and Seven Brothers is closing early. That was your news headlines. We're now going to discuss them in great detail. Yeah, so
Connie Fisher, the winner of How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria, is confirmed to playing 8 shows a week.
It's interesting because we did the show and then we went downstairs and read this in the newspaper.
This is last week. Yeah.
So
Emma Williams has hasn't fallen out, but has stopped her contract with. She left the show basically.
Is she allowed to do that? Is she allowed to?
Well, I think there's something about breach of contract because she was promised. So the paper said she was promised 4 shows a week, and she's not getting 4 shows a week. She was taken down to 2 shows a week,
right? Which
is interesting enough how Sarah Brightman had it on the Phantom of the Opera, and Elaine Page had it when she did her first show for Lord Webber. I can't remember what it was. Cats, was it? Something like that. Yeah, but most of his leading ladies he has only do 6 shows a week, and then Elaine Page did it on The King and I think as well. When she was in The King and I, she only did 6 a week and had her understudy do 2. I mean that's just the way a lot of shows in the West End work, especially with Andrew Lloyd Webber. So this is the first girl to sort of break the tradition, really.
What a fountain of knowledge you are.
Well, I read it this morning. When Emma Williams has now left, she said that she doesn't want any hard feelings and is looking forward to working with Andrew Lloyd Webber and David Ian. So she doesn't want to do it and worry ruin her career. She's not doing it. I think she's just doing it in a bit of a protest. But then Connie has said that she wants to do 8 shows a week because nobody else. They haven't cast anybody else in the part, so now she's doing 8 times a week.
Is Emma the understudy, or she just
Emma was the original. She was cast as Maria,
right,
to do 4 shows a week and all the promotions for it as well. But then, of course, when the box office people started phoning the box office and saying, "I want to see the person we saw on the TV and voted for," of course, then the producers are going to see pound signs in their eyes. I imagine that's. I mean, I don't want to start spreading rumours and gossip, but that's how it was put in the paper.
It makes sense, I think.
The producers.
If you're going to advertise a TV show along with a stage musical, you'd expect to see the winner of the stage musical.
Of the winner of the TV show in the stage musical.
You expect to see the winner of the TV show during the stage musical every performance.
Yeah.
Because if I was to pay £55 a ticket to see the winner of How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria, I'd be highly disappointed if I turned up at the London Palladium and she wasn't there.
And she wasn't on, no.
And I think so would the other 2,500 people who'd fill the seats at the Palladium, 8 times a week.
Yeah.
And it would only be 4 times a week, but it's still, you have a 50-50 chance of seeing the person you want to see.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame that she's had to leave because she's really, Emma Williams is a fantastic performer.
I saw her in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, truly scrumptious, wasn't she?
She was, and she was the youngest leading.
18, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the youngest leading lady. Try saying that 10 times fast. The youngest leading lady in West End history, I think.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, she was 18, wasn't she?
And she was
so beautiful as well. And she was in Bat Boy as well. I think she was the lead in Bat Boy. Yeah,
I never saw Bat Boy.
It was good.
It looked quite fun. And should we move on?
Yes.
And Ashley Simpson is now in the West End.
Chicago, yes, she had her opening night this week. I think Monday, wasn't it? Monday was her opening night.
Have you heard anything about how she's done?
Well, when I saw the posters, I thought, well, she looks too young. That was immediately I thought she looks too young to play the part.
Is she playing Roxy Hart?
Roxy Hart, yeah. So I thought, well, Roxy Hart's an older lady. But then I looked at her in a magazine and I read the review for her, and it said that she's actually had some training in the past. She's had musical theatre training and ballet training. And in the picture, she looked a lot older than she is. So I can't really cast judgment because I've not seen her, but I would like to think that she looks to be doing quite well. But the other big news about Chicago is it's a rumour, I have to say. It's not confirmed yet, but I've got it from quite a good source that Usher is going into Chicago.
Yes, we mentioned on our first show that in New York, Usher's currently in Chicago.
In Chicago.
And we got a very nice email last week saying that he's doing well, he's pulling in the seats.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's only rumours, Annie says, but it's coming...
I have it from quite a good source.
Okay, and he'll be coming to London to reprise his role of
Billy Flynn.
Billy Flynn. And I think they should still get the cast in the movie to do it for like one night.
Imagine the money, though. Imagine the money that would cost them. It'd be worth it, though.
Yeah.
I'd go and see it.
I'd go and see Catherine Zeta-Jones do splits on stage any day of the week.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah. Wicked opens tonight.
Wicked opens this evening
here in London. It's over 50,000 people have seen it already. Standing ovations every night.
Nice.
Sold out performances every night.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't need reviews. Maybe it's just
the stage review I think was in this week.
Right.
I didn't read it though. It was it's still sitting on my desk at work.
I'm looking forward to reading it tomorrow morning and see what it says. And the sad news is that Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is closing early.
Well, it's not. It's not really early. They were originally supposed to go to the end of November,
right?
And then they extended their run until February, and now they've posted a closing night of the 18th of November, a week before they were going to close originally. So they've not really closed early.
So it's not that bad. It's just
they've just taken off their extended run that they were going to do. It's a shame because it is one of the only sort of old-time musicals we have in the West End now.
At the moment, we have a lot of classics opening soon, like Porgy and Bess.
Yeah, and the Sound of Music, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, so Seven Brides is going to leave us.
Did you see it?
Which Seven Brides? I saw it on tour because I have a friend, Sonny Hymas, that's in it.
Right.
Sonny, talk to it. Of course, the score won an Oscar when it was first released. So the music's amazing and the choreography is outstanding. The dancers, the brides and the brides, the brothers and the suitors. So you can't forget you've got 7 brides, 7 brothers and 7 suitors. So you've got all those, a massive dance ensemble, and high energetic dancing.
21.
Yeah, 21 people all doing like when it comes to the big party, when
good old hold down.
Yeah, when it comes to the hoedown number, the big number, it's like a 12-minute number, and it's stunning to look at visually. It's choreographed by a man called Adrian Alsop, who I worked for many years ago the year 2000. I worked for him. I did Panzer before him. Lovely, really nice choreographer. Yeah, really high energy choreographer and director. But I'm not sure who the director was actually. But David Balls is the resident director at the moment. But and also the dance captain. So
are you allowed to offer your opinions on why you think it's closing?
I think it's just audience probably, but not being able to get the audience in because they are competing with the likes of
Wicked and
not things that are selling really well, and they're right opposite Phantom of the Opera, and you've got Wicked that's just opened, you've got Spamalot coming in, you've got Dirty Dancing coming in.
And I guess my news is I started school.
Yes, you started university
again.
You're officially a student again.
Yes, I'm officially poor again, and I'm doing a musical theatre, the first musical theatre degree in this country, for in Europe actually, for musical theatre writers. And they also do a sort of, on the same course, they do one for producers as well, where at the end of the year they split off and do their own producers project. And it's interesting, there's a couple of Japanese students and Korean students in our class, and they're all doing the producers segment.
Oh, wow.
And so apparently being a producer is now becoming quite fashionable in Asia.
I really want to go and do shows in Asia, so that'd be quite nice.
One of our... Actually, my course director, Robert Gordon, has done lots of shows in Japan and China. He says it's really big.
Oh, wow.
Musical theatre is becoming huge there. And, of course, we mentioned a couple of weeks ago the Wicked show in Japan at the theme park.
Of course, yes.
And it's really interesting. I thought that they're all choosing the producing side. But I'll be doing the composer and lyricist side, where this is what's really exciting to me, is at the end of the year, this time next year, we have say we've written a 40-minute musical, that then gets performed. Us, the writers, go to the workshops in sort of June and July, and then we're done.
Cool.
They hire actors and directors and musical directors, pay them, teach them the songs, direct it, and put it on stage.
Well, if you need any actors, I'm always out of work.
Well,
no, I'm joking.
All actors are always out of work.
Yeah.
They're between work. They're between shows.
Resting actors.
19 years between shows. The main bulk of our show today is going to be taken up by 2 interviews.
Yes.
One was conducted last week by Andy, who very kindly interviewed Cory English, who's starring in the
producers
in London.
So I went all the way downstairs to interview him.
There's lots of stairs in the Drury Lane, listeners. And our second interview is with, as you may have seen on the website, is with John Cameron, the orchestrator of Les Miserables. So the thing is, that interview was so long and so good, I couldn't decide what to do, so I split it up into 2 parts. You'll hear the first part this week, where he's going to talk about Les Miserables and how that show evolved, which is very interesting. I certainly learned a lot of things. And the second part of the interview next week is him talking about the Zorro musical, which he's composed with a band called the Gypsy Kings, which sounds very interesting, and I'm sure you're interested to hear what he has to say about that. But that's next week. So should we kick off with these interviews then?
Okay, well, should we start with Cory?
Yeah, we'll start with Cory.
Mr. English.
Mr. English.
I just want to say thank you very much to Cory for this.
Thank you so much. It was very nice of him. And you'll hear at the end of the interview that Andy is...
I was in trouble. Well, basically what happened, I was supposed to meet him at 6.
Right.
And our warm-up starts at 25 past 6. So, Cory didn't get there till 15:15. He texted me, but I didn't get the message. I left my phone upstairs. So I was waiting for him, and he turned up at like 20 past or something. And then he said, "Oh, come on, it'll be 10 minutes. We'll get it done. And then, of course, by sort of 25:02, I'm still in his room, and like the singing, the dancing one was nearly over. And I get a call to the ballet room saying, "Andrew, why are you not a warm up?" And I got down there and I got in a lot of trouble. But it's fine. I got my interview, so that's the main thing.
You'll hear that afterwards, the sacrifices Andy does for this show. It's amazing. Okay, so here is Andy's interview with Mr. Cory English.
Mr. Cory English, how are you?
I'm very good, and yourself?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
Fantastic. So you grew up in New York State, is that right?
Yep, grew up in New York State, Rochester, New York, and then when I was 18, I moved down to New York City.
Right, okay. And what was it like to live in New York City?
It's an adult playground.
It's an adult playground?
Yeah. When I first moved there, I got a job in a hotel.
Oh, okay.
Working as a runner for a restaurant. And then I got a scholarship at Broadway Dance Center.
Oh, fantastic.
Where I studied dance, free classes. I just had to clean the studios.
Oh, right. Oh,
Sweep, mop the floor, and do the mirrors, and...
Oh, fantastic.
Got free class. And I took advantage of it. 5 classes a day, and then when I was working, it was 3 ballet classes a day.
Right.
Mostly ballet.
Oh, fantastic. So you trained as a ballet dancer before you trained in musical theatre?
Yeah. I always did jazz and tap, but mostly it was ballet when I wanted technique.
Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't know you.
Oh, no, yeah.
So,
why didn't you know that? Because I'm so fat?
No, I just never saw you as a dancer. I've never seen you dance before.
Right. Yeah.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, your vocal and physical warm-up is now commenced.
That should add to the drama of it all.
So, what made you want to become an actor?
An actor.
Well, a performer.
It's sort of stupid, really. I was singing in a chorus. I'm 7th grade, 13 years old, and the local choreographer came in to give us a little choreography. She said I'd be a good dancer. So I said, okay. So I started dancing. I always liked to sing, and I think I liked the attention. And it just was the thing for me to do. I was always athletic. I loved baseball, basketball, played that all through high school. And then wanted to move to New York and be a dancer.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you worked as a dancer first?
Yeah. Mostly small ballet companies, real small. And then when I went to the musical theater auditions, the big cattle calls, Cats, Jerome Robbins Broadway, I went to oodles of auditions. Cats, probably 7, Jerome Robbins Broadway, I had 19 auditions.
Oh my God.
Till I finally got the tour. And when I got the tour, I was in a Broadway show called Gypsy. And then Gypsy let me out of the contract to do the tour, but then the tour said they needed me right away.
Oh, okay.
So I never got to do it in the end.
Oh, that's a shame.
And it was a shame. But then 2 months later, Jerome Robbins did his own project, a brand new project where it was just him and about 12 dancers. So I got to work with Jerome Robbins, like just me and him and, 11 others.
Fantastic.
Which was much better than touring in a show, which I would have learned from Jerome Robbins' fourth, fifth generations.
Of course, yeah.
Probably hardly wouldn't even have got to deal with him.
Okay.
So that was
that was good.
Yeah.
So, why? Who was your biggest influence? Would you say to become a dancer or a performer? Who would you say influenced you most into doing that?
Probably would have been my first dance teacher, the one who said, you should be a dancer.
Oh, okay.
Probably. And then when I got older, I just saw the possibilities of, being a performer, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what. But nobody big. All my teachers were very inspiring.
Okay.
And once I was in New York City, taking class from the professionals, who later gave me work because I studied with them for 2 years. I was by their side every day for 2 years. When it came to cast their show, they asked me.
Oh, fantastic.
So, and then I got to hang around. Once I got in the show, I worked with Nathan Lane twice on Broadway. I watched him in the wings almost every night. Tyne Daly, watched her every night. Whoopi Goldberg. I watched all these amazing stars.
Yeah, big names.
Then I wanted to be an actor because then I saw them do the thing, and I went, "That's what I want to do."
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't dance forever, because I knew my body was gonna, wear out and get chubbier, and So that's when I decided to be an actor.
So you switched.
So then I left Broadway after 10 years, came to London and studied in a drama studio, London.
Is that what made you come to London?
Yep.
Was to study in drama? Oh,
Yep.
fantastic. And why London? Why choose?
Well, I figured you moved to New York to be a dancer. That was my...
Okay.
Because I couldn't do university. It wasn't my thing. So I moved to New York to be a dancer. And where else do you study acting? You come to London to study the classics, Shakespeare, Chekhov, and that's what made me come to London. I also wanted to get out of New York and just leave everything behind and come and start fresh, and I could make an ass out of myself. No one knows me. I can come here and be a totally different person, which was good. They used to say on Broadway, Cory's leaving Broadway because he can't get a date anymore. That's why he's going to London.
Oh, I see.
But that's not true.
So, how does the theatre come? Well, so you would have started working over here, I presume. What was your first role in England?
After drama school, I did a couple Edinburgh shows.
Oh, at the Fringe.
The Fringe, yeah.
Fantastic.
And that was Corpus Christi and another play. Yeah. Okay. And yeah. And then I won't go into that.
Okay. I think I get the gist of it from the laugh.
Yeah. I played, in the other play I played Marilyn Monroe.
Fantastic.
I played a drag queen. It was a terrific part. It was a great challenge for me. I played Marilyn Monroe and HIV. It was abused as a child, a former prostitute. It was a great role. Just very funny.
Okay. So
and then after that, I went back to New York.
Oh, okay.
Because I was really burnt out. I went back to New York and I was homesick. I was burnt out. So I went back home for 2 years. September 11th happened. And I was seeing this girl over here who I met in drama school. We were going back and forth for 2 years. After September 11th, most New Yorkers got married, got divorced, had a baby.
Right.
And I decided on September 13th, I called the jeweler, and then I was going to move to London and, ask this girl to marry me. Not necessarily in that order. But, just it was to get on with my life.
Yeah.
So I came here because I thought I'd have a little more contacts than she would have in New York.
Okay.
So when I came here, I did Chicago.
Yeah,
I played
Mary
Mary Sunshine.
Right.
Yeah. First, I was a walking understudy for 10 months of
in-
Amos and Mary.
Oh, okay.
And then they gave me a nice Mary contract, so I did that.
Cool.
And then Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls, of course, yes.
Yeah, well, producers first.
You did, because you walking cover here as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
For
I did a walking cover for Lee Evans and Nathan Lane.
I mean, that's
Richard Dreyfuss originally, but we won't get into that. So then when Nathan went down, I got to go on for 3.5 weeks, and sort of got to prove myself.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm back here now.
Brilliant.
Really.
Brilliant. And we're glad you are. It's
Me
fantastic.
too.
So, what are you most... No, we're going to go on to something completely different now. What are you most looking forward to about being a father? Because you're going to be a daddy very soon, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I think I'm looking forward to, obviously, being with the child and doing all that. But I think it's the next stage of my life.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for a huge change, and it's obviously going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, this part that I'm playing now is fantastic. Where do you go from here? It's such a amazing part, an amazing show.
Yeah.
Another production, yeah, maybe eventually, but there's no other part bigger than this one. So, you have a baby. I mean, that's going to be, I think, just amazing. Just as amazing or better than any show.
Yeah.
Any business. Having family and that's life. Jobs will come and go. As great as job as this is, there's still life.
Andrew Edwards, you are requested to go to the battery room. Andrew Edwards to the battery room.
Well, thank you very much.
You're in
for
trouble!
I'm in trouble now. Thank you very much for your time, Cory.
Alright,
And
yeah,
I'll
my
see you
pleasure.
soon.
Alright,
Thank you.
cool.
So they have the interview with Mr. Cory, because that man
Yeah.
has the coolest laugh I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He'd be a great villain.
He's such a funny guy, though. He's always coming out, of corkers, backstage, and he's just so funny.
And interesting enough, the role of Max Bialystock is the only character who's allowed to break the fourth wall, as we say,
Yeah.
in the sort of show rules. And he does this marvellous... I won't spoil it for you for those who haven't seen the producers already, but during Betrayed...
Oh, his big number in the second act.
He'll do this thing where he'll just crack you up. I mean, he died. I mean, I've seen the producers 3 times now in the West End. And he just does this little sketch that, just gets the audience cheering and laughing. It's very, very, very funny.
Every night. It goes, biggest laugh of the night. Really is. It's so apt because everybody in the theatre would. It's brilliant because everyone in the theatre would have done exactly what he takes the mickey out of,
And relates.
Everyone has done it. If they haven't done it in that show, they've been to the theatre before and done that.
Or experience what he's talking about.
Yeah,
and
it's
being
so
shocked by
funny.
it. So, yes, go and see the producers if you enjoy that interview with Mr. Cory English.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy, and he has such good chemistry with Reece Shearsmith, who is playing Leah Bloom at the moment. Those two just work so well together, and
it's so important in the show. That
yeah, definitely. But they are fantastic, really fantastic chemistry, and they are genuinely really good friends as well. They go out for lunch all the time, and they treat us to Broadway bagels once a month. They're called Broadway bagels. Yeah, well, basically, both of them go out and buy loads of bagels with smoked salmon and all this amazing stuff. And you just make your own bagels in Cory's dressing room, and we have Broadway bagels.
Does he have the biggest dressing room?
He has. Cory has the biggest one here. Well, Cory and Reece have the 2-star dressing rooms.
Do they share a dressing room?
No. There's 2-star dressing rooms. Reece has one of them, and Cory has the other.
Something that made Andy laugh last week, which I had to cut from the show due to time. But we're talking about amateur dramatics.
Yeah.
This segment, when I listened to the final edit, was actually a lot shorter than it originally was. And I said something like. It's sort of all you do in amateur dramatics is you sort of get drunk and then go on a stage and make an idiot out of yourself. I like karaoke.
Yeah, it was.
And that just sent Andy literally howling through the roof.
It's just backstage. I remember so clearly the shows when all of us were drinking. It's awful because now I'm not touch a drop before you go on. No one really will. Drink before
you
a
end up
show.
hurting your groin.
Sorry. Don't start. But backstage at Amdram, we just used to get absolutely slaughtered. So you couldn't go on, but we just used to have crates of beer backstage and just crazy, and big bottles of port for the women. All the leading ladies there with their bottles of port. And
it ain't over till the fat lady collapses drunk.
Yeah. I used to love Amdram though. I really enjoyed it. But
and interesting enough, Andy and I are talking about writing and writing Amdram the musical.
That would be brilliant.
And I found out yesterday it's been done.
No, it hasn't.
Someone mentioned it in my introduction class at school.
No.
And it's been done. And then I shot my hand up and said, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was talking to my friend of mine, Andy, and I said, it'd be great if someone had an Amdram the musical about all the bitching that goes on backstage. And I said, sorry, mate, it's been done, but it's a very good idea.
Oh,
so here's our second interview of the day with the very nice Mr. John Cameron, who took literally an hour out of his time on Saturday. He's going to talk about Les Miserables. So it'd be nice to talk to you today about, first, of course, Les Miserables, probably the biggest musical that's ever done, I think, in regards to London hits.
I suppose, yes. I think it comes down to whether it's. I think Phantom beats it in terms of tickets sold, but I think we've been in more languages. Or there's one yardstick or other that we're the biggest musical ever. I think it's all academic, really.
Congratulations! That must be marvelous to think that all over the world, every night, probably hour of the day, your work is being appreciated and heard somewhere.
Yeah.
How did was it Cameron who approached you about Les Miserables?
No. I was on Les Miserables 6 years before it opened in London.
Right.
In fact, about 3 years before Cameron heard about it. I used to work with a record producer called Mickey Most, who did artists such as Donovan Hot Chocolate, and my own band CCS was signed to his label as well. His sub-publisher in Paris was Alain Bublé.
Right.
And Alain had phoned Mickey up looking for an arranger who could write movie kind of scores, but had a feeling for rock music as well. And by that time I'd done about 25, 30 movie scores, including The Touch of Class, etc. But Mickey knew my work because I did all the Hot Chocolate arrangements for him.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I worked with Donovan with him before that, etc. And Mickey recommended me to go and meet he and Claude Michel Schoenberg in Paris, and so I hopped on a plane. I went over there and I spent about 3 hours listening to Claude Michel murdering pianos and impersonating half of Paris. Trying to read a script in French, and my French wasn't that wonderful. And I got on the plane, I think, a few hours later with a headache, thinking, I think I said yes.
You just weren't sure because so much happened that day, and you.
Oh, it was a whirlwind of everything. In fact, yes, I'd agreed to basically produce and put together a concept album of Les Miserables in French, but with an English orchestra. We were to record it at CTS in London. And the funny thing was that, as I say, it all happened so fast that I really wasn't sure what I'd said yes to until I got back and put the cassette on in the car and drove up and down St Albans High Street and suddenly realised, well, this is, I'm not sure if I can say it on your podcast, this is Gallic bullshit. It's wonderful Gallic bullshit.
It's a nice pop musical, isn't it?
It is such approachable music, and it rolls along, and it never stops, and it never rests. I realised that this was really something quite special. We produced the album in French with some fantastic singers. Christian Legrand organised them for us, and a lot of French pop singers, but with British musicians. And we then produced the show at the Palais de Sport. Robert Hossein, he's a very famous French director who specialises in grand spectacle over there. He put it on as in the Palais de Sport, which is a 4,500 seat auditorium.
Wow!
It was a huge smash over there. It played for just the 4 months, but it sold out every performance. So almost 500,000 people saw it in that 3.5 months. Then it just died because it was such a huge production that nobody could do much with it. There was talk about it going to Montreal or whatever, but it was difficult to make it proceed because it was this huge spectacular production. And I gather Cameron found it in a record store somewhere, and took it home. Loved the sound of it, and I remember I was working on Blondel, I think around about 1982, something like that. And he said, "Well, what do you think of this Les Miserables? I've just found it, the thing in the record store." And I said, "Well, I think it's probably the best musical since West Side Story." Sticking my neck out, I just felt I love musicals with huge stories.
Yeah.
And it seemed to have that enormous sweep and that enormous melodic sweep. And then I heard very little more about it. And then suddenly it was he'd obviously gone away and thought about it and decided to bring in the whole RSC crew. Basically the people who had worked on Nicholas Nickleby.
Because it started at the Barbican, didn't it?
Yes, we started at the Barbican with it. It was an RSC production, in fact. I was carried along because I had arranged and conducted and masterminded musically that side of the thing in France, and I did the same job with the Barbican thing. I mean, obviously, what John and Trevor had to do was to make it right for a British audience. In fact, make it right for a world audience. Because,
yes.
For instance, in France, there was no prologue. It started at the factory gates because everybody in France knows how Jean Valjean got into the state he was, and the fact that he then became mayor of what I forget the town now, Montmirail. But in England, they didn't. In France, they very much jumped over the sewers scene because that was taken as for granted sort of thing, So John and Trevor basically had to make it approachable for the world, not for just people who knew the story intimately. In France, it had quite a horrific kind of ending to it. It was really very scary.
Sorry, can you just tell us who John and Trevor are, for those who
Sorry, John Caird and Trevor Nunn.
Right.
Or Trevor Nunn and John Caird, I suppose it should be. The two directors who had joint directed Nicholas Nickleby.
Right.
And came in between them and Alain Claude Michel. They adapted the book, and they brought in a very famous English poet. Jean-Marc Nattel was the co-writer of the lyrics in France.
Right.
Herbie Kretzmer eventually became the lyricist on it.
The English lyrics.
The English lyrics,
yeah.
Yes. And Herbie had done a lot of stuff for Charles Aznavour, and was therefore he was very good at finding English equivalents of French feeling.
When surely translating a song is difficult because not every language has the same amount of syllables for each word.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what happened with the earlier lyricist was he was very faithful to Victor Hugo and very faithful to Jean-Marc Nattel and Alain Bublé in the original French. What Herbie did was sort of grab hold of something and say, well, what this means is this, but in French it means you express it this way. I'm going to express it in English this way.
Yeah.
And he would make the creative leap to expressing something in a very vernacular English that had an equally vernacular feeling in French. And I think this was quite a triumph on Herbie's part.
What musical influence drove you whilst doing the Les Mis orchestration? Did you listen to any French music, or was it mostly just typical the Broadway sound that you use?
No, I tried for it not to be a Broadway sound. I suppose it's kind of become a Broadway sound.
Yes.
But then it was very much a question. It was more driven from the kind of orchestrations that I would have written for a movie than for what I would have heard on a Broadway stage, which was still at that time, although Evita had happened, so the more contemporary feel was more acceptable.
Yeah.
It wasn't that general a sound, and in fact, what I tried to do was to combine it with a kind of edge that only synthesizers could create, the chain gang piano and all that those kind of slightly grating, edgy street sound to give it that street feeling, contemporary, but also to tie it to the gutters and to the streets and to the to the really sort of highs and lows of French society, if you like.
Yeah.
So one had the orchestral suite, but one always was grounded in this kind of the dirt of the streets, if you like. And I don't think I self-consciously went and listened to anything in particular. It was just it kind of took off from where I felt it needed to take off from, if you like.
Did Claude have any input into the orchestrations?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked a lot in terms of sort of talking between us what kind of figures he'd like to hear, and then I'd come up with a counter line, and perhaps I'd suggest a different bass line to something. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of it was developed quite organically, but I suppose most of the time one shut oneself in a room and did it, you know.
There's the first half of the interview with John Cameron.
Brilliant.
Very interesting stuff he talks about.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know, for instance, that it was like pop. You was talking about it being pop music, and I was like, I just always assumed Les Mis was just classic musical theatre.
In my opinion, there's lots of pop ballads in it.
Yeah, I suppose now I look at it, I go, oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Like
that's just my ignorance.
I remember when I saw Les Mis live, I was with someone, and he said, "It's very soul-y, some of the singing, isn't it? Especially, I think Eponine."
Eponine, yeah.
Her stuff was quite soul-y, and I think there is a pop in it. It's impossible, I think, for a musical to be written nowadays without a pop influence.
Yeah.
Because in the days of the 50s, when you had the classic, and before, the classic MGM musicals, Rodgers and Hammerstein, that was the pop music.
Yeah.
So, and now we have, he said Evita become on contemporary musicals, and now the composers are definitely influenced by more of today's modern music.
Yeah.
Musicals and Rent, for example. And
Rent, what a score that show's got.
Tell us what's happening next week.
Next week we have an interview with Jared Alessandrini, who, if you don't know that, he writes everything for Forbidden Broadway.
I first discovered Forbidden Broadway a long time ago. And I think the first thing I heard was Be Depressed.
Oh yeah, the Beauty and the Beast one.
Which we won't go into that because we'll probably get sued. But we're very lucky to have him on the show. We'll be doing a phone interview, and I'd like to apologise for the interference you heard in that phone interview, because I will conduct them on my cell or mobile phone. There's no way to get around that when it's near a mic, so you just have to enjoy the interviews and sort of get used to the...
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not too bad. I didn't notice it. Jared Alessandrini, who, I mean, if you haven't listened to Forbidden Broadway, you haven't heard of Forbidden Broadway...
Where have you been?
Oh yeah, but if you're a fan of musical theatre and you haven't heard it, it's good fun to listen to, just because it isn't necessarily that he doesn't like musical theatre, it's just that he can see something he can take the mickey out of and does it.
Of course... imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
And parody and stuff like that. So.
Of course. And it is a parody, it's not.
And it's so much better when you see it on stage. They all dress up in goofy costumes, and I think for The Lion King they sort of had toilet rolls on their hands and stuff. And the show has very low budget. It doesn't need a big budget, because the tackier it is, the more fun it is. And
I heard the Wicked one, she got on a stepladder and started singing the end.
And they throw confetti over her and stuff. Very, very good. So that's coming out next week, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this week.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, it was you didn't hear much of us this week. It was mainly interviews. But,
all the better.
Next week we'll have another 2 interviews. We'll have the second part of the interview with John Cameron.
Yep.
And an interview with Jared Alessandrini, and then more of us talking about musical theatre news and information. And if you have any questions you'd like to ask us, or any questions or comments or
requests,
suggestions, we are trying to get people on that you have suggested. Mm-hmm. We have emailed and we are asking, and please keep the emails coming in.
Yep. musicaltalk@hotmail.co.uk, or you can join us at our forums. Our website is hudson.nick.googlepages.com.
It's not www.
No www.
Remember that, it's not www. It's just http:// straight into hudson.nick.googlepages.com.
Okay. Only 2 mentions this week. That's quite impressive.
Yes.
And please join the forums. People are joining, but you're not talking, so do join and have a chat.
Maybe we should go on the forums and write our little bit first.
I'm still waiting for you to sign up.
I haven't done it yet.
I know. That's why I'm waiting.
Okay. I'll do it today. I'll do it tonight.
Do it now after the show.
Okay.
So join up at hudson.nick.googlepages.com, and thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Musical Talk. We'll see you next time.